This morning, StarWars.com revealed a list of new books and comics that will connect with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, set to open later this year. The article says these are the first 6 titles, so I expect more will follow, but for now let's run through what we know. We've already heard about the Marvel miniseries surrounding Doc Ondar, an infamous Ithorian antiquities dealer who was briefly mentioned in Solo: A Star Wars Story. I assume he'll be a costumed or animatronic character at the park. The new synopsis reads, Black Spire Outpost has long been frequented by smugglers, merchants, and travelers from every corner of the galaxy looking to make their score on the infamous black market or experience the exotic thrills the remote world of Batuu alone has to offer. Aliens like the infamous Doc Ondar, a proprietor of rare and one-of-a-kind antiquities, thrive on the unique opportunities which abound on the lawless outpost at the very edge of wild space in this all-new miniseries from Marvel writer Ethan Sachs, who wrote Old Man Hawkeye, and artist Will Sliney, who recently worked on the Solo: A Star Wars Story comic adaptation. It will begin releasing on April 24th. The new novel is what has me most excited. It's called Black Spire and will be a prequel to the park experience. The only description we have so far states that Leia dispatches her top spy to Batuu in a desperate search for Resistance allies. This sounds like it could take place during The Last Jedi, since Leia also sends out Black Squadron and Zay Versio on the same mission in the Poe Dameron comic and Battlefront 2. The events of the park are supposed to take place after The Last Jedi, so the timing lines up. The book will be written by Delilah Dawson, making it her 2nd novel but 9th Star Wars story if you count short stories and comics. I imagine the spy character mentioned in Black Spire will be Vi Marathi, one of the characters introduced in Dawson's first Star Wars novel, Phasma. She's already been seen in some Galaxy's Edge art, so this makes perfect sense. I'm also hoping for a return of Cardinal somehow because his story is very compelling, but if you haven't read Phasma yet, you really should. It's awesome. Black Spire will release on September 3rd. We'll also be getting a young adult novel by Zoraida Cordova called A Crash of Fate. The synopsis reads, Izzy and Jules were best friends until Izzy's family abruptly left Batuu when she was 6. Now she's back, and Jules, the boy who never left, is unsure what to make of her. While on the run from vengeful smugglers and an angry pirate, the two friends will come to terms with who they are and what they mean to each other. It's hard to speculate on this one since it's about new characters, but I do wonder if the angry pirate could be Hondo Ohnaka. Cordova was one of the contributors to From a Certain Point of View, and this story will release on August 6th. Coming out that very same day is Star Wars Myths and Fables by George Mann. It'll be a collection of tales, fables, and myths, 2 of which take place on Batuu, but there'll be many other stories from the edge of the galaxy, and they'll all be illustrated by Grant Griffin to pay homage to real-world children's classics. This one sounds like fun, kind of like the Legends of Luke Skywalker book that'll allow us to read some more fantastical stories that aren't constrained by any sort of canon. The truth of them can be left up to reader imagination. You can read an excerpt from one of the fables called The Knight and the Dragon at StarWars.com at the link in the description. Finally, there'll be a kids comic from IDW Publishing, probably something along the lines of Tales from Vader's Castle, as well as a cookbook of all things written by Chelsea Monroe Castle, who has done some other fandom cookbooks, like A Feast of Ice and Fire, which I've actually cooked something out of. The honeyed chicken is very good. But that's it for today's news. It sounds like Lucasfilm is treating Galaxy's Edge almost like a major film release. It's getting all the familiar tie-in material, 2 comics, a novel, a young adult novel, and a middle grade book. We could probably consider this like the Journey to Galaxy's Edge line of stories. I'm definitely most excited for Dawson's new novel, but let me know which stories have you intrigued in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.